What's up, VC? It's Todd Guy, Thrashing Zombie here. It's 2020. This is Bear Mace. This is one of the albums of my favorite albums from 2020. This is continuing my 50 years of my favorite albums. This is Charred Field of Slaughter by Bear Mace. Songs like Hibernation, Destroyed by Bears, Rogue Weapon, Xenomorphic Conquest, Let Crack the Whip. What is this song? This is a Charred Field of Slaughter, Plague Storm. This song is From the Sky Rains Hell, Brain Rot, and a bonus track called Into the Acid. Some good old school sounding death metal. Find them on bandcamp.com if you want to check them out. They have a new album coming out this year. Can't remember the name of it though. It's not going to be released for a couple of months, but still. Bear Mace. Alright, let's turn it down. Boop. Go. Like I said, it's 2020. Next up is we got another bandcamp.com album. This is Rat King, Vicious Inhumanity. I got it on cassette because I think all they had was cassette or CD. I don't believe they had a vinyl version of this. Comes on this green case. Cassettes nowadays don't sound as good as they did in the 80s and 90s because they don't have that Dolby sound thingy on them anymore to make them sound better. But yeah, Rat King, songs like Matanza. These are all like other weird words. Bora Tenico. Some other, I can't pronounce that. Soledad. In Quiet Sleep. Zero. Chanchito. Stranded. Rotting from Inside. Yeah. Rat King. Vicious Inhumanity. It's a cool cover too. Probably look great on a bigger, on a vinyl record. Alright, on to the records. Let's get these two out of the way. Dua Lipa, Future Nostalgia. Not a huge, this is like pop, hip-hop, not even really hip-hop, like dance music, sort of in a way. It's very 80s sounding, and I fell in love with this album. I'm not a big fan of their one after this, even though it sounds very similar, but not as good as this. I've listened to this 3 times on here and multiple times streaming. Like a dozen times streaming. Just makes me want to move, and I don't really dance that often, and I'm not a good dancer. So yeah, this is one of my favorite albums from 2020. And I can sip here. A great album by Eminem. I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about Eminem, but this is music to be murdered by. Has some great songs on here. Same humor, premonition, unaccommodating, you gonna learn, those kind of nights, In Too Deep, Godzilla, which was the big one because that features Juice WRLD, who died 21, 22 from an overdose or whatever. Darkness, Leaving Heaven, Ya Ya Ya, Stepdad, Marsh, Never Love Again, Little Engine, Lock It Up, Farewell, No Regrets, I Will, and some interludes featuring Alfred Hitchcock. Because Alfred Hitchcock, there's actually an album called Music to be Murdered by. Alfred Hitchcock and He did interludes on those, talking about the music to be murdered by on those. Not the same music, obviously, but great Eminem album, in my opinion. Alright, the rest are all metal or hard rock, like this one. Blue Oyster Cult. What's this? Symbol Remains, isn't it? Yes, the Symbol Remains. Sounds like Blue Oyster Cult, man. If you like Blue Oyster Cult, it's a good album. The first 3 songs, I think they released those as the singles. That Was Me, Box in My Head, Tainted Blood. I think those were released as the singles. They're okay. Nightmare Epiphany, Stand and Fight. Actually, that's side C. Edge of the World, The Machine, Train True, Lenny's Song, The Turn of St. Cecilia, Stand and Fight, Florida Man, The Alchemist, Secret Road, There's a Crime, and Fight. For those people that don't live in the United States, Florida Man, if you don't understand what Florida Man means, because in the United States we have a thing where if something happens in the state of Florida, on the news, it always starts basically with a Florida man, and then what happened. It's just kind of a running joke here in the United States, because a lot of stuff happens in Florida, apparently. So they made a song about it, and basically it's saying that the reason stuff happens in Florida is because the Seminole Indians put a curse on the state. That makes sense, right? The Alchemist, it's a great tune. Also a song about somebody putting a curse on the king, or the prince. Tainted Blood, vampires. What else? I think The Machine. Was it The Machine? Yeah, The Machine, I think, is about how people are obsessed with their cell phones, which is great. Great tune. The Fight basically doesn't even have a fight. Yes, great album here. I mean, I like Blue Oyster Cult. They're different. They're not just straight up rock band that does the same old shit. They do some weird stuff. You have to be a certain kind of person like Blue Oyster Cult, in my opinion. Most people only know the 2 big songs, Burning for You and Don't Fear the Reaper. They couldn't name any other song. So anyway, this one I picked up because a lot of people say it was a good album, and I streamed it. I'm like, yeah, it was pretty good. It's got Scott Ian in it, Mike Patton, Dave Lombardo, and 2 other people I don't really know, Trevor Dunn and Trey Spurrance. Talking about Mr. Bungle. This is, what is this? The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. Yeah. This is the Newberry Comics exclusive Baby Bit Blue splatter vinyl. See? Includes MP3 download. Limited to 1,000. Get back in there. Thing I don't like about this, though, it doesn't tell you what side is A and what side is B. I think it's actually 2 records, isn't it? Yeah. There's no... This is side Jacobs, side Zoe Barnum, but it doesn't say on the back which is which. So I just threw a record on and said, fuck it. I don't know what song was playing. But it was good. Yeah, Mr. Bungle. And then we got the return of a band that hadn't put an album out in a few years. This is Onslaught, Generation Antichrist. very thrashy, anti-religion album here. Bow Down to the Clowns, probably one of my favorite songs on here. The title track, Addicted to the Smell of Death, is also great. A Perfect Day to Die, good shit in my opinion. So that album's over. So Onslaught, Generation Antichrist. And this one, this is Havoc V or 5. I remember waiting forever for my pre-order of this because I love Havoc. Conformicide, the one before this, wasn't a huge fan of. It was very preachy about stuff. There was a few songs I really liked. I had it on CD, but it was very like preachy, like a lot of Megadeth albums are lately. Basically, the government sucks. It's gonna kill you. This is bad. That is bad. Yeah, we get it. It's bad. You don't need to fucking tell us. This one is less of that. Not as preachy. Not as good as their first 3 albums. Their first album, Burn, was not real preachy at all. Second album, I'm drawing a blank. Time Is Up. Is it Time Is Up? I don't know. Anyway, that one has a few songs that were sort of preachy. And then the third one got a little bit more preachy. Still has some great songs on there, though. And then Conformicide went full out. Fucking, it's just like, what the fuck? This one went kind of back to their Time Is Up kind of sort of thing. Anyway, as I was saying, I was waiting for my pre-order. I have 2 of these. I have a black version, and they had like 5 different versions, colors, and I got the clear, I think it was, and I was waiting for that. They had issues with where they were getting made, so they had to move it somewhere else, which pushed it back. And anyway, I really wanted the album, and they had it on Amazon, just the black one. And I said, well, fuck it, I'm just going to get the black one, and then that one comes, I'll just have 2. Whatever. I'm glad I bought this, because the one I got from pre-order is so noisy compared to the black. Very crackly. Sometimes you can hear it over the music. I was just like, wow, this is terrible. But, yeah, so I got this one, which works. Post-truth era, fear campaign, betrayed by technology, ritual of the mind, interface with the infinite, Dab Sog, Phantom Force, cosmetic surgery, panpsychism, merchants of death. Don't do it. Like I said, it's less. Some of the names you can tell it's kind of preachy, sort of. But their heroes are Megadeth. They said one of their heroes, one of their band heroes, I guess. So, I mean, it's kind of the same sort of shit. And I remember during the pandemic, the lead singer, Dave Sanchez was all over Instagram talking about how masks basically are useless and freaking the pandemic's not real, sort of shit. Kind of threw me off. Dave Mustaine was the same kind of way during the pandemic. I remember masks were useless, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got their own opinion. Yeah. Whereas Megadeth, I kind of lost interest because of that. And also, I was never really the biggest Megadeth fan to begin with. I know so many people love Megadeth. They put out some good albums. They also put out some really stinker albums. But I really just got into like Peace Sells and So Far So Good So What and Rest in Peace. Those 3 albums are like all I really care about. Anything after that, I mean, Endgame I really enjoyed, but I mean, everything else I just can take or leave. But Havoc's the same kind of way as Megadeth, so talks about the same sort of shit. I got a few more albums here, but I need to drink coffee. Let's save that one for last. Let's do these. This is a band I found in 2020, Necrot. Thought it was a new band, and somebody else told me nope, they're not. They've been around for a little while. This was Mortal, Your Hell, Dying Life, Stench of Decay, Asleep Forever, Sinister Will, Malevolent Intentions, and the title track. Death Metal, Red Album. I'm so sick of Red albums. So sick of Red vinyl. This is another one I really need to listen to again. Well, these other ones I've listened to quite a bit. This one and the next one I need to listen to. This is another one from Bandcamp.com. This is Cemetery Filth, Dominion. This is black vinyl. Death metal, obviously, by the, you can tell by the logo. Subduction, Exhumed Visions, Paralytic Scourge, Eons and Dis, Festering Vacuity, Churning of the Shallows, Devoured by Dread, from Euphonic Crypts, Dominion. What's this one called? This is called Dominion. Cemetery Filth. Yeah, also on Bandcamp from Boris Records. Whatever the hell that says. I always just go through Bandcamp sometimes and click on like thrash or death metal, see what kind of bands are out there, kind of listen here and there, see if there's anything that catches my attention. This is one of those bands that I did that with, and I was like, oh, that looks like a pretty cool cover. Generally, it's a cover that catches me at first, and luckily now you can just listen. Bandcamp's great for that. You can listen to the whole album a couple of times before they ask you to pay, or you just listen to a certain song here and there. But yeah, Cemetery Filth. All right, there's one left. I wasn't gonna buy this, but I couldn't find just the record. I probably could have bought it off Amazon, but I saw this at Newberry's, and I could pay like $60, $65 for this. Technically, I guess it's a box set, but it's just this album. It comes with some other stuff. This is Testament, Titans of Creation. It comes with the CD, Earth Element Edition vinyl in here, 2-record set, 24-page booklet with exclusive liner notes and photos, and a 3D lenticular artwork, which is this thing. This comes off like this. And this is the artwork. It's kind of cool, I guess. And then the booklet, I think it has all the lyrics and photos of everybody, people in the band, and other stuff. And then, like I said, the vinyl. It came in these sleeves. Terrible. And then the CD. So, I mean, considering record is like $30, $40, for a double album probably would have been $40. And then the booklet, and it came with a CD and the thing. So I think it was a bad price for this. So good album too. I mean, Children of the Next Level, World War III, Dream Deceiver, Night of the Witch, City of Angels, Ishtar's Gate, Symptoms, False Prophet, The Healers, Code of Hammurabi, Curse of Osiris, and Catacombs. Just pulls everything from the last, freaking 30 years or 40 years or whatever it is they've been around, and you hear elements of, like, in here from every album they put out. Mostly thrash metal. They got touches of death metal here and there. Just a great album. And I think that's it. A few more years and then we'll be done. Till next time. Well, thanks for watching if you made it to the end. I appreciate everybody that watches. Until next time, rock on.